Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders at Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace, blessing, salutation to the elect of the nation of Israel. To you, I say Shalom. So it's prophesying the scriptures for America, which is Babylon the Great, to be destroyed. Okay, America is Babylon the Great. And according to the Bible, this place will be judged. Okay, so America will not be great again. Okay. Actually, we're seeing the decline of Esau, Edom, and his rulership. We're seeing the decline of these heathens. Okay, and we're seeing that Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai, is raising up the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, starting with this word, the elect are being awakened, okay, being quickened by the truth, being washed from their filth by this word, okay. Salvation is for the Israelites, starting with the elect. This truth is only for the elect, first and foremost, okay. Who can lay any charge to the elect, roughly paraphrasing? Let me get that real quick. Romans 8, verse 33. Who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? It is God that justified, right? So it don't matter what these heathens do. Okay, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to always justify the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay. When you go into that word elect, it says eklektos. It says picked out, chosen by God to obtain salvation through Mashiach. Okay, and it says, when you keep reading, choice, select, i.e. the best of its kind or class, excellence, preeminent, applied to certain individual Israelites. All right, the elect. Because you do have the nation of Israel as the elect, but then you have the elect of the Most High. All right, because 2/3 of our people here in America will be cut off and die. And they will take part in the lake of fire. So we're going to go to Jeremiah 51, verse 1. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. And the destroying wind is going into the destruction by the way of those nuclear missiles. Okay, the missiles. That's that nuclear, that's that destroying wind. The missiles. Okay, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles that these different nations do possess. And they're going to shoot missiles at Babylon the Great. Verse 2, it says, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. They shall be against her, her being Babylon the Great, which is America. Her, the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Okay. And they're going to empty her land. Yeah, these missiles going to make this place desolate. Verse 3, against him that let the archer bendeth his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Right? The brigandine goes into the armory. Okay, the host goes into the army. All right, Second Ezra chapter 16 goes into, the missiles as well. All right, it says, against him, verse 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. So the archer represents the silo because, it has to be cocked back, all right. And, the brigandine is a modern term for the missile defense system. But, according to the scriptures, these missiles are going to pass their missile defense system. The America's missile defense system is not going to prevent the missiles from entering to America and destroying this place. It's already prophesied in the scriptures for America to be destroyed, and America's Babylon the Great. So, Russia, Great Britain, Pakistan, Iran, China, India, they all have missiles. They all have nuclear capability, and they're going to shoot. They're going to shoot their missiles at her, at Babylon the Great. Okay? So that destroying wind in verse 1, let's precept that with Revelation chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. That's right. Okay. Verse 2, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So the angels are holding back the wind, the destruction. Okay. So the elect has to be sealed first, then the destruction going to happen. Holding back the 4 winds, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. That goes into the destruction, man. Okay. And World War III is at the door. It's going to happen, according to the Bible, man. People going to get drafted, women, men. You women going to get drafted since you want to be equal to men. All right, so go fight in the war. Let's get the book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle, the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. The NLT says the boots of the warrior and the uniforms blood stained by war will all be burned. There will be fuel for the fire. So, war was fought with, swords, tanks, bombs, jets, dropping bombs, and you see people with their uniform and they're being stained by the blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel fire. So this war that's going to happen is going to be by the way of burning and fuel fire, by the way of those nuclear missiles. Okay? That's why it says, roughly paraphrasing, it's going to be a lake of fire. Where is going to be a lake of fire at? Here in America, by the way of those nuclear missiles. Okay? I want to bring out Isaiah 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So the Heavenly Father put it in the mind of these scientists to create the missiles, man, the nuclear missiles, to split the atoms and whatnot, and to create these missiles. That's the waster to destroy. Okay? That's why we're telling you people that America going to get destroyed by nuclear missiles and World War III will happen. We're in that time. We already hear about wars and rumors of wars. Nations going against nations, kingdom against kingdom. Okay, a person may say, oh, this been going on. This been happening. Well, that person lack faith. That person not really watching. Okay? Because the Bibles deal with prophecies. And certain events must happen before Yahushua, the Messiah, return. This is Revelation chapter 9, verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. One woe represents the World War I, and this chapter mentions World War II and World War III because it says two woes more hereafter. World War II already happened. The third woe is soon to happen. And that's what you false teachers, you hirelings, you're not warning the people of Jacob's trouble and the destruction. You see? So let's get back to Jeremiah chapter 51. Verse 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. The Chaldeans, the modern day Babylonians. Verse 5. For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of Yahweh of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Right? The elect has not been forsaken. All right, and this, Judah. It says, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power. So the Israelites, start with the elect, has not been forsaken. Israel represents the northern kingdom. Judah represents the southern kingdom. It says, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Right? So, the land is filled with sin because every law is broken over here in Babylon the Great, which is being ruled and ran by Esau Edom, the wicked, the so-called white man, starting with the elite banking families. Verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's This is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. And we flee spiritually. Okay? Remember, we're fleeing spiritually. We're coming out the ways of Babylon the Great. All right? We're being washed by the word. This truth make you clean. And it's the time of the Most High's vengeance, man. Okay? He will render unto her a recompense. And that brings me to 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. The NLT says, in his justice, he will pay back those who persecute you. And who's persecuting us? The wicked, Esau, Edom, first and foremost. Also these heathen nations. And also the wicked of our people. Okay. Verse 7, and to you who are troubled, rest with us, when the Lord Yahweh Shai shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. Right. Yahweh Shai is coming back with the angels, the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies. Verse 8, in flaming fire taking vengeance on them that know not God and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Right, you people refuse to obey the good news of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so Yahweh Shai Mashiach and the angels will bring judgment to those that don't know the Most High and his Son. That's why seek Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai now, so that you can be safe, so that you can escape the destruction to come. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad, which the wine represents philosophy. So these different nations have bought into Babylon's philosophy. And when you go into Babylon's philosophy, you go into how they spreaded their wine throughout the earth. Okay? And the wine they spread was being a thief, adultery, okay? Being a momo, being abominable, being wicked. Their wine is spreading. And these different nations are adapting to the wine, the philosophy of America. Okay? That brings me to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Who is transgressing by wine? Esau, Edom. He's a proud man. They're very proud. That's a proud nation. Neither keepeth at home, right? He's everywhere. He's everywhere, man. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. Right? Everywhere they go, they bring death. And guess what? The grave is never filled because you always have someone to fill it. That's why. And Esau Edom trying to block out the sun. And nobody is mad at Esau Edom for what he's trying to do. You see? So that's what I'm saying. Those who's not obeying the gospel of Yahweh Bashim Shai, that's the wicked of our people. They don't obey the wicked of our people don't obey the gospel of Yahweh Bashim Shai. You see? Of course these heathens don't. They don't know Yahweh Bashim Shai. This truth is not for these heathens. This truth is for the nation of Israel. But guess who's going to get this truth in its entirety? The elect of the nation of Israel. This Revelation 18 verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. That's right, because Babylon wine has spread it throughout the earth, their philosophy. So Jeremiah talks about the philosophy and the wine of Babylon. Also Habakkuk talks about it, and also Apostle John the Beloved, talking about the wine of Babylon, which is going into their philosophy. People are adapting to their ways, to the philosophies of Esau Edom. Verse 8, jumping down to verse 8, Revelation 18. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And this chapter is going into the destruction of Babylon the Great, Revelation 18. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. All right, so these different heathen nations are going to see the burning of Babylon the Great. It's going to be televised, man. These nations are going to witness America get destroyed, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, thy great city Babylon, a mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. It's going to take 1 hour literally for this whole place, America, to be desolate and destroyed by fire. Okay? A terrible judgment awaits for America. And a lot of you people don't even know about it. You see that? This is Jeremiah 51 verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. The NLT says, but suddenly Babylon too has fallen. Weep for her. Give her medicine. Perhaps she can yet be healed. Right. So the balm, BALM, is going into medicine, trying to heal her pain, but her pain cannot be healed. Let's go into that word balm. It says a kind of balsam, balm, salve, as merchandise, as medicine. Okay, for instance, you may have like lip balm, to your lips may be chapped and cracky, so you try to use the balm to heal your lips. You know, well, Babylon cannot be healed. That's why verse 9 says, "We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies." So everybody is going to need to jump ship and go home. you know why? Because these nations have businesses. They're entrepreneurs. A lot of them foreigners, they have what, stores and laundry shops and convenience stores. They're gonna go back to their country. All right. Verse 10. The Lord Yahweh hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh our power. Verse 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. That's why the Medes represents the Russians. And it came out that the Russians have something called Satan 1, Satan 2, these missiles called Satan 1, Satan 2. You know? Verse 12, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Verse 13, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. Which the waters represent spiritually the people, them coming over here and, it says, verse 13, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures. Abundant in treasures, right? Which we could precept that with Revelation 18, verse 11. Let's get that real quick. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man bought the merchandise anymore, because America made these different countries rich. Verse 12. Merchandise of gold, and silver, and precious stones, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. See? Souls of men. You had people selling their soul, okay, to the elites, to the devil. All right. It talks about slaves in this chapter, right? Like debt slaves and taxpayer, you know. That's why this place is abundant in treasures. All right. This is Jeremiah 51. Verse 15. He hath made the earth by his power, he hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his understanding. Which that goes back into Genesis chapter 1. Stretch out the heaven, which we're going to understand that in the times to come. Okay. And you have different heavens. You got the outer space. You got heavens on this planet. And we are going to understand the heavens ultimately when the time comes. Verse 16. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. It talks about brutish. Yeah, people are brutish, very brutish on the left-hand side. They think their knowledge will make them prosper by worshiping these different idols and false deities and graven images. All right. And that main image is the MOTB, the CHIP, the C-hip. That's going to make you pay homage, to the beast system. That's going to make you pay homage, to the beast system. If you take the charagma, all right, it says, verse 17, and there is no breath in them. Right. There's no breath in these idols. All right. These idols are worthless. Verse 18, they are vanity, the work of errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. That's right, because these idols are worthless. And people will perish with them that called on them idols. Okay, those idols and false gods, they're not going to save them. All right, so with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rachak Kodash, Shalom.